Welcome back to Talking Hip Hop. I'm your host, JustKeekz, and today's guest is SRE.
I'm dropping in like voting ballots.
SRE for president.
Rooted in my spirit, so you know I can't flop.
Right.
Juices overflowing, grab a bucket and a mop. I'm stepping back up where I'm at. My inner thoughts, I'm killing that. I'm in a trance, walk in the booth and snap.
Run the track.
Yeah, east side, going for the right. See my knee high move, gotta climb. Read my fear, my soul, when I cry. I see why I reset all the time while I cross my T's and dot my I's and throw my does, my L's.
SRE is a young, promising artist on the rise. Born and raised in Scarborough, Ontario, SRE has a riveting and versatile flow. He recently released his EP titled Ambivert, supported by Factor Canada. SRE continues to transform his listeners with his rhythmic and poetic verses, painting a picture visually and mentally. His work speaks for itself. Please welcome to the show, SRE.
Oh, man.
How are you?
Oh, man, I feel great.
Yeah.
I feel blessed to be here.
Awesome. I'm really happy to have you on the show. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
My first question for you is, I know your name is spelled SRE, so it kind of sounds like it's SRE or like SRE, but you prefer for people to pronounce it as SRE.
Yeah.
What's the story behind your name?
So with my name, I struggled to find like an artist name when I started to become an artist. So blessed to be in the position, it actually came to me in a dream. Because I'm just like, I don't know what to call myself. And like, there's so much stigma around my last name, which is Asare, A-S-A-R-E. So then I just took out the A's and it just showed SRE, but it's also a breakdown of the acronym Serial Evidence. Because I don't really talk much about what I do, I just do it. Because not everyone that's supposed to know. And you know that thing, like when you tell people too early, it kind of diminishes what you're trying to do.
Yes.
So that's why I try to keep my mouth closed and just let my work speak for itself.
I like that. So you were saying it came in a dream.
Yeah.
So like what, did you like envision the letters SRE?
Oh.
Like, how did this come about or unfold?
It's, yikes. I guess like the way I saw it was that I was just, there was just like a road, and it was just like there was no one there, and it was just like an empty road, and I was walking down, and I don't know, like I just saw like letters. I know it's gonna sound weird, but I just saw like letters float around, and then in my dream I'm thinking the same thing. I'm just like, I don't know what to call myself.
Wow.
And then because I never wanted my last name. I wanted my mom's last name.
Okay.
Because again, there's so much stigma around my last name already. So I'm just like, I've always had the strength of turning something negative into something positive. So let me use my last name as something good. But then also with sorry, it's because like I'm always apologizing for things I shouldn't be, which is myself, which is my art, and I shouldn't be. So that's why sorry, not sorry came into play with my name.
Wow, what a powerful meaning behind your name. Like that's unbelievable. And I want to also mention, like, let's talk early beginnings. How did you get started as a hip hop artist?
COVID.
Seriously?
COVID.
So you haven't been doing this for a long time?
No.
I would think you have been.
No.
Wow. Okay.
I made this because I've always been. My friends would know I've always been a dancer first.
Okay.
And I never thought or had the idea of being a rapper or a singer or anything like that. I participated in a cypher at my high school for the talent show, but never came across of like, let's take this seriously. But when I work at my old job at Scarborough Town Center, like I would be cooking. I used to work at Moxie's at Scarborough Town.
Okay, I was just there the other day.
Yeah, right? I know, everyone goes there for the brownies.
Yeah.
But I would be in the back and I'll be like cooking, and then I'll be like freestyling at the same time, and then people would be like, yo, you should really try being an artist. I'm like, I'm not gonna be no rapper, I'm a dancer always. What are you talking about? COVID hit, I'm just like, I'm a person, I just can't sit still. Like I have to use
doing something.
Exactly. So I think it was 2019, that's why like I started to like going nuts on my credit card. I bought a laptop, I bought speakers, I bought a desk because I did not know how expensive studios were. So then I'm like, let me invest in my own bedroom studio. And then I taught myself how to make beats. Missed out the whole summer in 2019, didn't even go out. My friends will tell you the same thing. Like I just sat in my room, grinded, paid for an online mixing and mastering course, and just practiced. And then I think within that same year or the year after that, I came out with my first EP that I produced and mixed and mastered myself. And yeah, that's basically how I got into it.
And you do everything by yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
Correction, I used to do everything by myself, but thank God for the people around me, my friends who are there to just support me and everything, and I learned that I can't do everything by myself, because that's why I lose sleep, my health diminishes, it goes down, and just learning to just put that pride and ego to the side and just learn to say, hey, I do need help.
Yes, that's so important. I love that you said that. I also wanted to touch on the fact that, like, I took a listen to your music, and you have a very unique flow and cadence when you rap. I wanted to know what inspired that flow, because I do know every artist has their own sound or their own unique way of making music. And I listen to your music, and it has such a unique kind of flow to it. So I was wondering what inspired, or who maybe inspired that flow?
What inspired it? One off the top, I can say that, like I said, I'm a dancer first. So being a dancer, you have to know how to like hit certain levels in an artist's voice and their technique. If they're running riffs, you have to know how to move your body. So it's like, I try to imitate how I dance into how I rap. And I try to translate it in a way where like, I don't want to sound like anyone else, because before I even got into it, I would like listen to the radio and like, you won't know who's who on the radio. And everyone just be like, just sounding the same. It's like, I want to have my own touch on it.
Right.
And if I'm going to do it, how would I approach it?
Absolutely.
So yes, I would listen to different artists. I listen to Schwan, I listen to Kendrick, Janae, I listen to, sometimes even listen to like classical music, listen to jazz, just to see how they would touch on certain compositions or how they would scat and everything. So I'm just trying to figure out how to put everything together. So my flow just emerges from knowing that like you have to keep the audience's attention. Because for me, I know it's hard to keep my attention. So it's like you have to like either switch something up, do something that I've never heard before, and that's why I always push myself to switch it up every so often.
Yes, yeah, it's important to do that.
Yeah.
For sure. And your music and style, it reminds me of two rappers. And if these two rappers combine sounds, I feel like they sound like you.
Oh, God, let's hear it.
And those two rappers are, one of them you already previously mentioned, but it's Childish Gambino and Kendrick Lamar. For some reason, that's the vibe I got from listening to your music. And your lyrics are unlike what you would hear in a typical rap song. So I'm not saying all rap and hip hop songs do this, but some of them, glorify violence, drugs, they might exploit women in their music. One thing I have noticed about your music is it has meaning and it has depth. So with all that being said, and there's also little to no swearing in your music. Yeah. So I wanted to know, was that intentional? And as a rapper, do you find it hard to avoid using this type of language, and why you made the choice to be more socially aware and cautious of the music or the messages you're portraying in your songs?
Wow, that's a great question. Yes, it's intentional not to use any cursing in my songs. One, I come from a Christian home. Second, my mom listens to my music, so I practice, even like on like years ago, like I would practice like cutting out any foul language out of my everyday social talk. So like just being aware of that, and it's intentional for me to do that because I feel like personally, I feel like there's so many other words that you can implement into your rhyme schemes and into your rap rather than just substituting it for like the F-bomb or this and that. So it's like you can say something else that's meaningful, personally for me.
I love how you also mentioned how it's so important with the vocabulary we use because we get into such a routine where we might not even realize it, but like we drop something and we're like, oh shit, oh F, you know? And so it's nice that you're saying you're trying to be more intentional because there's so many words out there. Why do we always go for?
And I'm surrounded around like children like almost every day. Like I'll be facilitating to youths. I'm teaching kids, and it's like when they do figure out that their teacher is an artist and they want to check out the music. I even had a student ask me saying like, you're an artist? I'm like, yes. Are you on Spotify, Apple Music? I'm like, yes. And we're like, okay, final question. These are grade 4s. Do you swear in your music? And I'm just like, no. They're like, okay, good. Yeah. Because my mom would kill me if she heard any swearing. So then that's how I'm able to, and that's why it's easier to send DJ packs out to DJs to play it at games or play it at shows. And I feel like it's just more
accessible.
Yeah. It's accessible to use, and you can use it in a wide range. Because I had a discussion with another DJ, and he said like he really wants to play his homeboy's music, but there's just so much swearing that he never had an alternative clean version. But he's like, your music is so hard, and it's like it sounds like you're about to swear, but you don't do it. Yeah. I'm just like, and again, it's like it's all about the emotion that you pour into it as well too. Where it sounds like there's so much going on and so much you want to get off your chest. Where it sounds like that you do want to say it, but the emotion speaks for itself. So that's why I really just indulge into that and just be like, I'm cutting off. There's gonna be no E sign under my songs. I want them to just feel it and know that you can listen to this with your grandparents, listen to this with your cousins, your nieces, like play it anywhere.
I really love that. I do, and it's because of what you just said, but also the fact that I think it's smart because you're growing your audience because now kids can listen to it. Now the elderly can listen to it, you know? So I think that's amazing that you're so thoughtful when it comes to creating your music that you're already thinking of, should I say this? No, you know? And I think that's really dope. So good for you for doing that, especially in the hip hop world where it's very challenging. Yeah,
especially when you're surrounded by it at parties and social networking events, and you're just like, I have to know what my beliefs are, my morals are. Like, again, I'm not perfect. Like, there's times where I do slip up sometimes, but I correct myself and be like, okay,
we're human.
We're gonna do this better next time, and like just taking accountability.
Absolutely. And on the note of you being very thoughtful when it comes to your work, how did the music video for Reload come together? Shout out our cameraman behind the scenes who was the videographer for that.
Shout out Ferdy.
Fantastic music video, by the way. I want to know everything. How did that come together? The entire story, the visuals. Talk about it.
Ferdy, I don't think they're ready. So, first of all, shout out LJ, shout out Danny, shout out Ferdy, shout out Marvin. They really helped bring that to life, especially LJ and Danny. Those are like people I named. We went to the same high school together, same dance team.
Wow.
So yeah, Ferdy can dance. I don't know if he does.
The whole crew, all of you guys went to high school.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and then like for Reload, Danny and LJ both went to OCAD University, and their final project was to do like a video. It was like a music video, right? To like present like a music video, and then they wanted something hard and whatever, and I was already working on a beat, but I personally didn't think it was good enough because I'm like, I know how these guys are. I'm just like, if it's not up to a certain standard, I know they're gonna be honest with me, and I know that's what I love about them. So I'm just like, nah, whatever. Threw it in the trash, made the beat, threw it in the trash, and we literally had a meeting in like 5 minutes. I'm like, you know what? Let me just bring it out, because I was gonna play them a bunch of beats and tell me which one you think. Brought it out the trash. I'm like, who knows what could happen? Went into the Zoom call, played the beat. They're like, this is the one. It was the first beat I played. They're like,
the first one.
The first one. And I played them like 15 beats. They're like, yeah, no, the first one's the one. So I'm just like, all right. So finished the beat, made the song. Reload was just basically just talking about just getting out of your head and reloading your mindset, because as artists and creators, we tend to really doubt our work and what we do, especially in that moment where I really doubted that beat and I didn't think it was gonna go anywhere. And now with that song, we applied for a grant because we needed money to, shoot the video. We wanted to do the best we can. We got denied the grant. I think it was like $15,000. We got denied the whole thing. So we're like, all right, we need to do everything from scratch now because we don't have anything except pizza money in case we get hungry. So we used the OCAD studio. We used there's a parking garage by OCAD, and we were there at like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, so no one could be there.
Yeah,
right.
and I think security came at one point, but then we had to act like we're just doing nothing. But the way I was dressed, like, that I'm up to something, especially in a ski mask.
Yeah.
So that really unraveled, and oh man, I hope I'm not missing anything, because this video was like amazing the way it came out, and like there's the amount of the lack of sleep, the lack of eating, and just having the support there. Like, I really thank God for having people like Ferdy, Marvin, Danny, LJ, even Sheena, a good close friend of mine was there as well too, and they were just very supportive for that. And that ended up being showcased at OCAD University. I think it's, till this day, it's being showcased at Toronto Metro Convention Center.
Wow.
And I didn't know it was gonna go that far.
Wow.
And
yeah.
And I'm blessed that in the time where I started to doubt myself, God was like, get up. I'm about to take you to places you've never been before. So
Nice.
I was really grateful to have that opportunity that even came to me, that they came to me to have that, to join them on their final assignment.
So they came to you.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was meant to be. That
Definitely.
was truly meant to be.
Yeah.
And that was a fantastic video, by the way. And now it makes sense because there was a lot of dancing in that. And I also come from a dance background. So I was looking at the choreography. I'm like, okay, that's like another thing that was like really shocking, because again, a lot of the rap videos are like,
listen,
it was creative. It was very creative.
That's one of the things I'm trying to stop. They've been forcing me to like dance more. You're not dancing
Perform.
enough. And shout out to Danny for making the choreo to that too. Like she does a lot, and she made the choreo, and like I learned that choreo in like 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
20 minutes, because we didn't have that much time in the studio.
And that looked like hard choreo. Like
it was.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, wait, what do we do? What? And then I just had to keep drilling it, because we didn't have the studio for a long time, and plus, we're all working, we're all in school, we live separate lives, so it's like we're trying to do the best we can, but like in this particular time, like we were locked in, and we were just like, okay, let's get this done.
Yeah. So you actually have a project out that recently dropped titled Ambivert. What can you tell us about the EP?
So this EP was my first grant-funded project. It was something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I just didn't know how to execute it. And the title Ambivert derives from the definition of someone who carries introvert and extrovert characteristics. So, right? So it's like there's times where like I can be outgoing in social settings, but I do cherish my peace when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
In between, it's like I know how to like balance out both, but I don't know. It's just something about like, if I feel comfortable, I'll do this, I'll do that. So like I'm really in the middle. It's like I can be like up here, but I can also be down here at my lowest. And that's how like the track list also like was arranged, because I'm very thoughtful with how I number my tracks and how I arrange them, because there's a story behind it. There's always going to be a story behind my work, and the meaning behind it as well too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you're doing a really good job with just branding yourself as an artist.
I try.
Yeah, you're doing really good, and I do know that there's a lot of challenges that come with that. So what are some of the challenges you're faced with being an independent artist and doing a lot of the groundwork on your own?
Challenges, man. I would say financial support would be one, because as an emerging artist, you do have to like fund yourself a lot.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Those that want to be an artist, it's true what they say, it's not easy. Financial support, getting out of your head, because again, like the doubts there, but you have to remind yourself of who you are and what you're doing, like why. Your biggest question is your why, like why are you doing this?
Why are you doing it?
Other challenges, finding the times to sleep properly.
Wait, I want to pause right there because every artist I have interviewed on this show, anytime I've asked them, what are the challenges? They always say lack of sleep. What is going on with artists and not getting sleep? You're not the first to say this.
Like the thing that when you're starting out, there's not really time to rest, especially when you have so many ideas flowing through you. Like I cannot count the amount of times I've went to bed and decided that I'm going to sleep.
Never got sleep.
And I can't, because a verse or a phrase or a beat will come into my head. And I'll just be like, all right, here we go. And I go right to and I just start producing. Like, I don't even, like, there's times where I don't even sleep till like 7, 8, 9 a.m. in the morning. And even for when I recorded Rampage, I remember I started at 9, 10 p.m. at night. And I didn't finish till like 11 a.m. in the morning.
It sounds like burnout. And I think a lot of creatives experience what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, having all these ideas in your head, it's like when you finally get a time to just breathe, it's like, oh, but I have this idea to do, and then you don't really get enough sleep. And I experience it too, where I'm not choosing not to eat, but I get so invested in what I'm doing, time goes by and I forget to eat.
Exactly.
So I could totally relate to what you're saying. I also wanted to bring up the fact that I was actually reading your YouTube page bio, and I told you I did my research. It said, and I quote, "Just using the gift God gave me so my mom doesn't get mad that I'm not making use of it. Thanks, Mom," end quote. How has your mom played a role in your music?
Shout out moms for that. Man, I did not know it was gonna go that deep. I can't remember the time I was in school. I was in the weight room when I called my mom and I had the idea of like, I want to do music. And it was the first time where she did not say no.
No.
Like, she just said, like, let's see where it goes. I'm just like, cool. So my mom has played a big part of it because she knows that I'm very musically inclined. She knows that I'm into the arts. And she's, again, like, my mom's a Christian, and so am I. So, like, when she really brings Bible to me, she's like, listen, God's not gonna give you a gift for you to just sleep on, for you to just put it under the rug. Like, it's either you use this, or like, he won't take the gift away from you. He never takes gifts away from you. It's either you use it or you die with it. And that's why I think...
Wait, sorry, can you just say that again? That was so deep. That last part, just say that again, please.
It's either you use the gift God gave you, or you die with it.
Wow. Yeah, that needs to be on a t-shirt, but continue.
Yeah. Oh, man. And I go by this, there's this saying that Liz Brown has said, and it's like the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because that's where dreams die, where the books that were never read, the songs that were never sang. And he just says, imagine you on your deathbed, and around you, again, it's the books you never read, you never wrote, the songs you never sang, the pictures you never painted, and it's just the ghost figures of them saying, like, we were here, and you never used us. You all you have to do is reach, all you have to do is try, and you never did. Now we have to go into the grave with all this potential and just rot. And that's why, like, when you say, like, if you want to know, like, where dreams go to die, it's the graveyard. And I refuse to die knowing that I could have done something with my gift. I could have talked to certain kids on the streets. I could have spoken to different youth. I could have spoken to adults and all that. Like, I do not want to be the person to not use my gift for good. And also, if I have a story to tell, who am I to not tell it? We always hear rappers talking about, like, they're in the streets, slanging this, slanging that, in hopes to get someone else who's in that same position out of that position. So there's always hope for someone, but if you have a gift, don't just sleep on it.
Absolutely.
I feel like it's disrespectful to the one who made you. I feel like it's disrespectful to close friends who know what you have, but you're not using it.
And you'll never know. Like, do you understand? Like,
that's why,
if you don't do it, you'll never know, oh, I could have done this. You at least have to try.
Exactly. And people always go to the negative, like, what if I don't make it?
But you didn't try. Yeah.
What if you do make it? What if you do end up on these stages? What if you do this? Like, you don't know. But it's things that we see it as impossible, but it's like, God's like, I am the impossible. So try me. He's like, I put that on me.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, you know, people say like, I put that on my mama. I put that on this. God's like, I put that on me. Like, you know, my son died for your sins. So I'm trying to make sure that you're good, you're straight. If all these signs is for me to, like, make music and do what I was supposed to do, I'm going to do it. Because at least when God forbid, I go when it's my time to go, I can say that, look God in his face and be like, I did what I was supposed to do, and I tried. And my message for anyone to be out there is to just try, because you don't know what's going to come out of it. I did not know I was going to be performing. I think I'm on my 26th, 27th show.
Wow.
And I've only started like a year or two ago.
That's incredible, because as you said, you just started and
yeah. So I didn't know where I was going to go.
Now.
Yeah, like I was like, obviously when you start, you're going to be bad at it. Like, unless you just started really good, then hey, God bless you. But like for me, I thought it was good. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Till I hear myself back from what I recorded before up to now, I'm just like, God, I released that? So like, it's just a trial and error. Practice doesn't make perfect, it makes progression. So I'd rather progress than to be perfect, because I know at least I'm getting somewhere.
What is Sari's end goal with music? What is it that you really want to do when it's all said and done? Like, what's that big accomplishment or achievement that you would like for yourself?
I honestly feel like I've thought about it, but I haven't thought about it deeply. Let's say if I did have like this big end goal, that would be like, okay, that's it. I'm ending it here. But it's like every time I have a goal, I want to surpass it. I want to do more. So I feel like the goal is to see how far can I push myself before it's time to wrap it up. So, but besides that, it would be like, you know, to talk to more youths, perform more, talk to, like, even have conversations like this. Because I feel like the music is there, but the conversation is what, like, sparks the talk. So I just want to be able, the end goal is to just push myself as far as I can go and see how much I can do without setting a limit to myself.
I like that. And it's also living in the moment, because we don't know where you're going to be in 5 years with your music career.
Yeah, my friends know I have a hard time living in the moment.
Yeah?
I do, because
I find that hard to believe. By just speaking to you, you sound very, like, aware and connected
I'm
with
aware,
the moment.
but it's like, it's like, okay, I've done it, what's next? And it's like,
Okay.
I wasn't even aware that Reload was still showing at Toronto Metro Convention
Because you're
Center.
already thinking about the next
I'm already
thing.
thinking about the next thing. Like, I'm prepping for the release for Ambervert to come out, and I'm getting videos saying like, oh yeah, we just saw your video. I'm just like, it's there?
How do you stay consistent with your music career? Because I know life can get tough, and it could get easy to quit. So how do you stay stay above and stay dedicated to your craft?
Reminders, like consistent reminders. And even if that means going back to when you first started, and it's to the cringiest moments that you couldn't stand to watch yourself. I look at that Sorry from before and I go, what was making him so like dedicated at this time? Why did he want to do this? And it's like, even if it gets so, obviously the higher you go, the harder it gets. But it's like, I stay consistent by having, first of all, good friends around me, because you can't have a bunch of negative Nancys around you. Reassuring yourself that everything does take time. You can't be an overnight sensation unless you have those work, you put those hours in. And just finding the balance to enjoy life. Because I feel like when you're that's something I had to learn too, is that like when you're into your work, and you're into what you're doing, you forget to go out for ice cream.
Yeah, be human.
Be human. For me, I may be an adult, but my friends know that I have a childlike heart.
Same.
You have to be able to enjoy your life as you enjoy your passion. So I guess just finding the balance for everything is just how I stay consistent.
Yeah, that's a really nice way to look at it. I know that we draw inspiration based off our environment and what kind of things we see. So I think that is refreshing, and I hope that other artists listening to this interview see that as a way to stay motivated and keep going.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Especially like, you work in different jobs. You go to school, or, like you're not making that much money to provide what you need to do. Like, it's hard, but still be able to, get that slice of pizza when you crave it. I don't know what people like to do. If you like to jump in cold water, be my guest, as long as that brings you happiness.
Exactly. That's what it is at the end of the day. I want to ask you, where can our viewers go to stay connected, to keep up with Sorry? What other projects you have coming up? Tap in, let everyone know at home where they can go to follow you.
You can find me at SREONLY, Sorry Only, and all media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. It's the same thing. I try to be consistent with that. SREONLY on streaming platforms, music, SRE, and next projects I have. I think this is the first platform that I'm announcing it publicly, but I got awarded another grant to create a bigger project. So that's currently in the works, and I'm taking my time with that.
Congratulations.
So Freddie already knows he's a part of it. But that's something that's coming out in the works and currently working on right after this too. Okay.
That's awesome, and I'm honored that I was the first platform.
Exclusive on Talkin Hip Hop, you know what it is.
So you already heard it first. Stay connected with Sorry on all social media platforms. Keep up with him. As he just said, he has some projects he's working on coming out. And who knows what he will be doing in the future, so tap in with him. And also, if you're not already following us on social media, you can keep up with the show at Talking Hip Hop Show. That's talking without the G, Hip Hop Show. I'm your host, JustKeekz, and until next time, keep talking hip hop. Peace.